Welcome to the Raise Your Bars podcast, where it's all about elevating your life one step at a time. With your hosts, Chris Baker and Al Rattan. Together, we're here to guide you through the transformative journey of self-improvement and success. Have you ever wondered what behaviors and actions you need to change to achieve the results and success you desire in life? Well, you're in the right place. Each episode, we dive deep into the strategies, mindset shifts, and practical steps you can take to raise your bars. From personal development to professional growth, Chris and Al share their expertise, experiences, and the occasional tough love, all designed to empower you to reach your full potential. So, whether you're looking to make a big change or simply fine-tune your path to success, grab a seat and let's raise those bars together. Now, let's welcome your hosts, Chris Baker and Al Rattan.
Well, Chris, we're back for another episode of the Raise Your Bars podcast, and it's been a good day so far.
Yeah,
and I think it's only going to get better as we talk.
Every day's a good day. I got a sign that I used to have in my my kitchen area in my house, and I've got it in the garage ready for when I locate an office. I'm going to put it up, and it said, "Today's a good day for a good day."
I love it.
And so it's about mindset, right?
Mindset and attitude, man. Right?
It is. It is that Henry Ford quote, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're usually right.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. And it really does come down to that mindset and that attitude that we're carrying around with us every day. And, it's just, I'm just excited. We're going to talk a little bit about seizing opportunities this evening. And, you and I have definitely seized opportunities in the past, and we've probably missed a few opportunities in the past too, if we're honest about it, because we weren't ready in that moment. But for me, I know that, especially as I get on in life, not that I'm not old. I don't feel old, right? Sometimes the body feels a little older than the mind does, but I want to be able to be available to seize the opportunities that come along and make sure that I'm walking in that right mindset with that right attitude. So I see the opportunities as they arise.
Yeah, I think the key is like you say, having your head up and your eyes open, right, to see those opportunities. I think most of us, and we've been there and done it. Will be like nose to the grindstone, right? Walking around, the head is down, we're concentrating on what it is. So there are probably opportunities around us all the time that we just don't see because we're not focused on that. We're focused on something else, right? What's in front of us here and now. And I think that's the key. It's like being aware of what the opportunities are, being ready to receive them when they are there. Because even if you see an opportunity, like you said earlier, if you're not ready to receive it, it's going to be something that maybe you're going to feel nervous about it, right? Maybe you just like question whether you're ready for that, right? Whether you're worthy of that, whether you're good enough to do that, and then you talk yourself out of it. Right, was when you're ready to receive it and you see that, you'll probably seize the opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. And I think one thing that you said that popped into my mind when you said, we're heads down, we're focusing on, I would bet that the majority of time when we have our head down and whatever we're focusing on, when we miss those opportunities, is something negative that we've allowed to get into the way in our life.
Right.
Yeah. We're pulling our distraction or focus away from what we really should be focusing on.
Yeah. And then we see other people that grasp opportunities, right? And what does human nature tell us when that happens? They go, "Oh, look at that, lucky so and so."
Lucky, yeah, right place at the right time.
Yeah, it's not about luck. Right? You truly do make your own luck. And again, I'm not saying that there's never anything that happens to us that is bad luck. All right, it does. But how do we respond to that? Right? Do we wallow in self-pity and bemoan our bad luck, or do we go, means the next bit is just around the corner, right? It's like sales, right? In sales, every no means the next yes is one step closer.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So do you look at it in that way, or do you look at it and go, all I'm getting is people that say no, they're time wasters, they're not interested, that nobody goes into a store to waste your time as a salesman. Well,
nope.
Very few.
Yeah,
exactly. Very few.
Yeah.
Anyway, we digress. So,
Yeah, we did. So tonight we're pulling again a few words from John Maxwell's book Intentional Living, and the last chapter of the book tonight actually it's entitled "Be Urgent about seizing significant opportunities." Be urgent about seizing significant opportunities. I like that, right? Because it like that sense of urgency behind them.
yeah.
And in the book, I highlighted this line. It says, "Is there ever a right time? Yes, it's now when we see the opportunity." And I think we actually just talked a whole lot about missing the opportunity because we're not looking. But man, I want to be ready and available for the opportunities that do arise.
Yeah. And again, human nature, right, tells us that we're waiting for the perfect time. We're waiting for the stars to be aligned, everything to be there. So we go,
Happen.
I knew you were going to say that, but we're waiting for everything to be there to say yes, we're ready to go. All right, but listen, this is the real world. It's never going to be a perfect time. So the perfect time, I'm just saying, there's never going to be a perfect time. So the perfect time. So nothing, none of the factors are going to be aligned and perfect, right?
Right.
So the actual right time to do it is now. Right, and take that decision and make take action, right?
Yeah.
As long as you've thought about what it is that you want and how is this going to help you, and you're not just sort of knee-jerk reaction, right, into something. We've all done that.
I've done that.
And
yeah, done that.
and that's
it hasn't always worked out well for me.
No, it's cost us a lot of money, a lot of time, and so on. So, but if you thought it through, and you're weighing it up, go for it.
Well, I think it comes back down to, right, weighing it up. Do we know our values? Have we set our goals, our targets, or do we have that dream mapped out? Then you're right. Take the step, because you're right. And for a lot of personality types, Chris, that they want that perfection before they take the step, and I think that paralyzes. So, what is it? Paralysis by analysis, right? It paralyzes so many people because, again, they're looking for everything to be mapped out so they know they want to see the end before they've even started the journey. But you can't see the end because there's some twists and some turns in the road and some hills and some valleys.
Right.
So you're not going to see the end. You may have a picture of what the end could look like, but now you need to start taking the steps to work towards the end, towards that journey.
Right.
I'm stuttering over my words. You take over.
But people want to, they fall into that category where they'll believe it when they see it. Right. Whereas what we would encourage people to do is to flip that script, right? And say, I'll see it when I believe it. And so the other thing I'm thinking about as we're going through it, right, is if you want everything to be perfect before you make the step, is how are you going to grow?
Yeah.
Right. Because if everything's perfect,
right,
then it can't be improved. What are you doing?
Right.
You want to take on something that isn't finished, right? That is imperfect, so that you can work on it, you can grow, you can stretch yourself, and you can make it better. And you can continue to make it better. That's how we grow individually, as a business, collectively, so you have to do that, and you have to make mistakes in order to grow. Right. I heard that on a radio show this morning. If you don't make mistakes, you're not going to grow.
Exactly.
But we're so fearful of making mistakes that we want everything to be right. We want everything to be perfect, the quote unquote right time before we take the step. Change that mindset, right? Change that mindset.
So good. So good. Now there's a quote in here that John quotes President John F. Kennedy. And he says, "There are those that look at things as they are and ask why.
Yep.
I dream of things that never were and ask why not."
Yeah.
Why not?
Right.
Right. I mean, we've talked about this many a times, and Chris and I are we're always fairly transparent with our faults and our flaws on this podcast. But we've looked at the success of other coaches and have started, and at times maybe got a little bit frustrated and
Mhm.
said, why not us? Right. But why
Yep.
not? And right. And we turn that from that whine from well, usually on my sake, the why
Mhm.
not us, Chris? And he's like, well, why not us, Al? And it's like, you're right. If they can do it, we can do it.
Yeah.
And so that's what, keeps us fueled with fire to keep pushing forward, even though we may not see the results immediately at everything we put our hand to. But have seen some incredible results.
Yeah.
And even the listenership of this podcast is growing, substantially over the last year, which has made me very happy. It makes us feel like, okay, maybe we're not just talking to ourselves when we do this, even though we started out just talking to ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, why not? At the end of the day, it's everybody starts somewhere, right? The key is starting. If you want to get to a finish line, or you want to get going on a journey, you have to start, right? If you don't, you're not going to get anywhere, right? You look at we've talked about the navigation system before, right? You have to punch in your destination. Where are you looking to go? Then you have to tell it, like, where are you now? All right. Well, it works it out because it's using the satellite, but you have to establish where are you now.
Right.
And then, excuse me, you're determining, do you want the fastest route, the route without tolls, whatever the shortest route. And then what you do is you press go. But if you'd ever press go, that navigation system is not going to work out that route for you and tell you which direction to head out in.
That's right.
Right. You have to press go. Then you have to go and get in your car or whatever your mode of transport is, turn it on and follow the instructions.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And if the instructions change because there's a roadblock or an obstacle that comes up, you need to follow those to get around the obstacle and back on track to your actual destination. Not say, I'm sorry, that road's blocked now. Where else can I go?
Turn around and go home, watch Netflix.
Yeah. That journey's too hard now. So let me go and do something else that's easier. Right. You only do that if you're seizing. And what I like about this title is it's significant opportunities, right? And we've talked about that before.
Yeah.
The size, if you like, of that is just huge, right? It's a long word anyway, significance, but the actual size and of what it means is huge.
And I think I like the word significant because to me that means opportunities that are going to help me get to my destination. Because again, we've had clients that, for example, buy every single program that comes their way because they think that's the magic key to get them to wealth, right?
Well, that's
and they're distracted. They aren't focusing on their purpose or their values or their end goal or dream. They're just looking for the next magic pill.
Yeah. That's that scattergun approach, right? Where you just throw enough out there hoping that something sticks.
Yeah.
Right. But the problem with that is you're not focusing on any one thing.
Right.
And therefore what's going to happen is within that scattergun approach, when you throw that out there of all of those things, there probably is one thing in there that is a nugget that if you focused on it and you grabbed hold of it and you worked with it, it would like be the answer to everything. But because you've got too much busy noise going on around it, you're going to miss that. So you miss that opportunity. So when we look at opportunities again, it's like we should be looking at when we look at problems, right? What we want to do, instead of looking at the problems and saying why me and why is this going wrong, we should look at it and go, what's the opportunity? What's the possibility from this problem?
Right.
Because there's at least 2 or 3 for every problem. There's 2 or 3 solutions.
Absolutely.
So if we switch to solution-oriented thinking and like, why not? Right.
Yeah.
Let's move forward with it.
And I want to backtrack and say, folks, I'm not judging any of those clients that we've worked with or doing that because I've done exactly the same thing.
Sure. Yeah.
Program after program after program, thinking that was the next magic pill that would work. But I've learned now from experience that that's not the way to do it. And so when we work with these other clients, it's really, for me, I'm speaking from my heart when I say stop for a moment and think, is this really going to solve the problem that you're trying to to take care of.
You're
Yeah.
doing your thumbs up again on your screen, and
Yeah.
that's why. One of the reasons why, apart from these podcasts, is we don't really do any free programs anymore,
No.
right? And the reason being, it's not because we don't want to give free advice, free tips, We do. That's why we do these podcasts. But what we've realized is, if people don't pay, they don't pay attention.
Exactly. They don't take it
All right.
seriously.
There's no skin in the game. And again,
Yeah.
we've done it. I've signed up for free things before that I'll turn up for a couple of sessions and look at it and go, I don't know that this is what is it, the program, or is it me? It's probably me. Right. And so, pay attention to things, know what you want to do, and go for it.
Yeah. Yeah. And for me, and it's nice to have Chris, who's a little bit more task oriented, and me, I'm a little bit more scatterbrained at times. It's nice to have Chris sort of pull me back in. And you need people like that in your life, right? Because I'm like, hey, we should try this. And Chris is like, well, really, let's think about this. Should we do it? And I'm like, maybe not. Right. But for me, if I was on my own, I would have done it. But it was, next quote, they say, talking about opportunities, John says, they do not multiply because they are seen. Opportunities multiply because they are seized.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah. That's so good.
It's true. Because again, it's that you think of, it's really that taking action, right? You can see something, you can decide to do it, but if you don't actually do it, what's going to happen? Nothing.
Yeah. I want to throw a different spin on it there, Chris, is that, and you can call it, God or the universe, whatever. I think faithful with the little, faithful with the much, right? If we start seizing opportunities, then the universe, God says, hey, you know what? They accepted the challenge and rose to the challenge. Now I can trust with more, right?
Right.
And I think it's just, it's like social proof for the universe.
Yeah. Well, but and it is, and it's just the whole thing about when your level of awareness increases, you see more, right? And so the more you do, the more opportunities you get. And that's why people will say things like, well, money goes to money, or that person can fall in a pile of mud and come out smelling the roses, right? Just because they keep trying. Right. They keep doing it. They keep putting themselves out there. And it's the law of attraction as well that we've talked about. Right. The more you're out there, the more you try and the more ready you are for it, the more you'll see. Exactly. As we said, it's out there anyway.
Yeah.
We don't.
Why not you? Why not you? Right.
Right.
Why not?
Yeah.
I think that's a good challenge. Well, one more thing I want to talk about here yet, Chris, but I think even one of the challenges is for you this week, folks, to start asking yourself, why not me? Not like in a pity, why not me, right? But why not me? Why not me? Anyways, John says, intentional living is a lifestyle, a way of thinking that always says there's something more I can do.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's interesting because I was doing a training today, and we were reviewing some homework from last week, which was really working on prioritizing, scheduling, time management, and so on. Right. And a couple of the participants were like, yeah, I can't do that in my job because I try and do it, and then other people come in and they throw things at me, and so therefore I can't do that. I'm like, why not? All right. Yeah. You're saying you can't do it. And just because other people do that, why does that mean you can't do that?
Exactly.
Right? Why does that mean you can't take control and you can get yourself organized and create more time so that you can do other things? It's the mindset, right? We fall into that trap of like what we're sheep, right? So if we see other people doing it or other people impact us, we'll follow that. Well, unfortunately, when you're seizing opportunities, when you're asking the why nots, when you are anticipating and seizing those opportunities, you're looking for things to improve. Like we did COVID, we did those programs turning adversity into advantage.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's easy to sit there and go, it's never going to change because everybody else is doing it, so I've just got to go with the flow. Fine. you'll go down that river and you'll end up in the lake with everybody else that's not going anywhere. Right.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
if you
Yeah.
if you want to make a difference, if you want to seize those opportunities, sometimes you've got to turn around and you've got to row upriver, right?
Mhm.
Upstream. You've
Yeah.
got to go
It's
against
gonna
the
require
forces.
more effort and more energy and
Yeah.
more frustration maybe, and but at the end of the day, it's worth it when you get there.
Mhm. Yeah.
So,
You got to be a trend, set the trends, right?
yeah.
Be that change maker, be that difference. And the way you do that is to change the mindset and you look for the opportunities,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And are they all going to work? No. But guess what? Again, like we've said earlier, if you're not failing, if you're not making mistakes, you're not growing.
Exactly.
So what you should be doing is go out there, make those mistakes, learn from it, regroup, go again.
Mhm.
And then you're going to keep that upward trajectory and that upward curve. And people are going to look and go, wow, look at that person. I want to follow that person, right?
Yeah.
I want to grab hold of
Mhm.
their coattails because I want a piece of that action and I want to be something else. Why not me?
Exactly. Why not me?
Yeah.
All right. I think we're already at 20 minutes tonight, folks. I hope you got some value out of this. Chris, besides them asking why not me, maybe the challenge this week is just to be aware of the opportunities that
Yeah.
present themselves to you.
I think so.
And don't let them pass you by. Just
Yeah.
be aware. Go move to that new level of awareness this week on the opportunities that come your way, and evaluate them and jump on them if you
Yeah.
can. Yeah.
Try and seek at least one opportunity this week,
Right.
right? At least one, whatever it is, right? It doesn't
Yep.
matter.
Doesn't matter.
Don't have to make it big. Just a small
Mhm.
opportunity, that's something that you wouldn't have maybe tried before, but try it. All right, and
Absolutely.
see how it goes.
Excellent. Everyone have a great weekend, and we will see you next time on
Yeah.
the Raise Your Bars podcast.
Bye for now.
Thank you for tuning in to the Raise Your Bars podcast. If you found value in today's episode, please consider sharing it with your family, friends, and coworkers. We would sincerely appreciate it.